Welcome back to Dreamin' Dragons. The weather's warmed up. Winter's well and truly in the review mirror. Where are we currently? Where have we been? And what has happened along the way? Let's recap the last month or so's manics as I prepped to get the best shot at optimal health and general dragon fruity goodness. Similar to last year, inconveniently placed trip away, smack bang beginning of spring. 3 weeks this year out of action, so the window to tackle the annual prep was once again condensed. But regardless, here's how we went. First job, we binned roughly 9 dragons. Like I've dribbled on about previously, small space to grow, delicate balance to keep, hold, bin. Had a few varieties doubled up, binned one. Some weren't as good as I'd hoped, binned. Some were rotten and heavily neglected, binned. To be honest, if time permitted at the end of last season, I would have got rid of them then. But keeping a precious growing spot occupied in growing season for something you don't want is absolutely criminal. So, in the bin they went. Again, something I would have preferred to do at the end of last season but missed my shot was replacing the soil in my old original pots. Some of these were jam-packed with rotten, gluggy potting mix. Yuck. With weather and conditions warming up and waking our dragons, every day they were in this sludge, choking away, was slowing down the race to buds and punching potential new growth in the throat. We mixed up a new batch of soil and gave a few pots a freshen up. Here's a bit of a time lapse for aesthetic purposes. Make sure if you are replacing the soil that you're pushing it in and around the roots. You don't want your dragon sinking. Righty-o, so we've binned the baddies, we've flicked the feral stuff. Time for fun. Picking and potting up new varieties in the new openings. We've whacked 5 new varieties into trellises and moved some varieties to a trellis from a one-pot wonder on our retaining wall, and some from trellis to one-pot wonder. You can check out my one-pot wonder video linked in the description, a handy trick for quick fruit or space conservation. If you have a winner in a one-pot wonder, like we did with Edgar's baby last year, into a trellis it goes. We still have room for another trellis or two, and whilst the beginning of the season or a month or two prior to winter's your best window to whack in your newbies, I still have the difficult proposition of easing that idea past the wife as the coming weeks pass. Fingers crossed. With just about everything in its new, happy, and hopefully healthier home for the coming season, attention turned to waking up our dragons to get them ripping, tearing, and roaring towards that earlier goal of dragon fruity glory. We dropped a video a few weeks ago on our early spring feeding regime that you can check out in the description as well. As soon as the weather started warming up, time for that sweet, sweet brekkie in bed for our dragons. Up, up, and away they should go. It was around this time when things went a little pear-shaped. Expecting to come back from our trip to solid new growth across the board, we turned back up to find just about all our new growth had been tipped by slippery, slimy slugs. Terribly disappointing. Here's a little snippet of how bleak it got at one stage. So that was a major setback, losing all our new growth and having to knock them all off and start again. If pests are a problem in your yard too, you can check out our cheeky slug trap in the video linked in the description. But we pushed on, and it was worth it when 5-6 weeks into spring you start to notice some of these sweet, sweet buds popping up left, right, and center. Very early days in the season still, plenty of time for new growth and more buds, but thought it'd be a good opportunity to walk through how we hit the ground running at the beginning of the growing season here at Dreaming Dragons. For those playing at home, it's not too late to do the same in your yard. Good prune, good feed, get in there. It's also not too late to hit that like and subscribe button down below too. Join us for our weekly bit of dragon fruity goodness. Oh yes!